Good evening, folks, and welcome to another NHL Game of the Night on EA Sports. Roy Cruz and Son of Beast here. This big matchup, you may never feel like that this would be only the chance to see this play action, because this next game is where it all comes in before the Preds and Avs. The next matchup, as the Lightning, they face against the Buffalo Sabres and New York of the Sabre Town for the Atlantic Clash Division. These are the only two teams that are only the biggest matchup on the rivalry, almost been taking from anything from to the top of the East to the Southeast on the bottom. That time, we might know how this would feel if anything goes on with between the Bolts and the soaring of the Sabre. Tonight's starting goaltenders is Johannes Johansson, and for the Sabres is Arturi Luukkonen. That'll be the starting goaltenders for both teams. But now let's have a look at the starting goaltenders and the players, as the Tampa Bay Lightning has Nikita Kucherov with the quick release and pressure T, only take the tape zone with the powerful passes. Andrei Vasilevsky with the only showstopper, but that will be the number day for tonight, as he won't be playing on ice against the Sabres. Only the showstopper makes reflexive saves. Victor Hedman with the stick 'em up and the quick pick. Braden Point with only the wheels and Big Ray with no contest. Brandon Hagel with the no contest and Warrior. Jenkinson, a quick release and pressure. Then it's Anthony Cirelli with the quick pick and no contest zone. Then it's Ryan McDonough with the stick 'em up and the Warrior. Then it's Yanni Gourde, only no contest makes a battle of puck and strength. Then it's Olivia Borstrad, only quick release and pressure T. And finally is Darren Radish. Ascendant is only the breakout pass. And now, let's see what takes for Buffalo Sabres. Starting player is Rasmus Dahlin. He only has the elite edges to have some nipple turns with the second win and tape-to-tape zones. Then it's Tage Thompson, the TNT with the 1T motion, ankle break, and big rig. With Alex Tuck, the alternative captain, who only has the wheels of the Lightning's fast skating speed and no contest zone. Owen Powers with elite edges and ascendant pass. Bowen Byram with the wheels and elite edges. Josh Norris with only the wheels and stick 'em up. Then it's Ryan McLeod with only the wheels to transfer from the Edmonton Oilers. And finally we have is Jiri Kulich with the quick release on his deceptively quick shot release. So that's it for the starting players. Time to get over to Buffalo. My next broadcast partner I have is Peter Levesque from Buffalo, and he's along with the Heineman of the Ruler, and the third in center ice is going to be all for Boomer. And joining us for this third guest of the crew will be Starfruit. They'll be joining us here for the second period and the third period. You won't miss out for anything if anything goes real. So let the games begin. Atlantic Clash, Bolts and Sabres are next after this. See you later for the post-game show after intermission, and then we'll see the scoring breakdowns. In Buffalo, New York, it's the Atlantic Division of the Lightning and the Sabres. Good evening, everyone. It's Peter Levesque, and I'm here with the broadcast partner along with Ruler, and the third is Boomer. And joining us here will be Starfruit. That will be joining us here for the second period, and we'll be able to find out what will be for the next of this play action. Here we are, Buffalo Sabres, New York. It's time to play hockey. Starting goaltenders here for the Sabres is Lyon, and the other side of it for the Tampa Bay Lightning is Johannes Johansson. Starting off with Moser, he'll now send off to Kucherov. That time he'll find it over to Radish. He'll have the pass to Moser. And a start here for Cirelli. Cirelli moves it in with a quick shot save by Lyon. That'll be his first save of the game. And no Pierre Luukkonen. He won't be starting it off for tonight. Starting off with the players, right in the range, Tage Thompson and Dominic James for the puck battle. And as the win will be taking in for Dominic James, he'll have it over to J.J. Moser. He'll give it to Radius, now finding Goncalves. This one misses out of his own. He now has it to James. He looks to Moser. Here Goncalves again on finding to Moser. He looks to Radius, finding James. James shot, saved by Lyon. Pinsel behind the back, and now Moser will have it. What a nice start effort here. You know, I was able to see about Lyon. He was really given a huge stake to have that first save opportunity. I'm really sure about this was a night, to be honest opinion, for Lyon. He's starting off here big turn tonight. Goncalves the other way. That one is covered up. And here's Rasmus Dahlin. Let's start off with Buffalo Sabres the other way. And J.J. Moser will now find it to Goncalves in the deep zone to Radius. Tampa Bay rolling into the offense zone. In middle, Gonzalez shot, saved by Lyon. Radius shakes it back, and now Moser finding Goncalves. Well, that one was a heckable save here. Just like that Alex Lyon had with a nice saving, a great start, and they're really looking to make that one with a huge effort. Now here's James this time, now finding over to Radius. He'll now have it to Goncalves. And now back in the Sabres territory. Here's to Gibson, another save on the goaltender. Good time stop. And then we'll give it over the other way to Josh Dunn, and Alex Tuck will have it out. Chances for the Sabres, and a shot off again, and a stop made by Johansson. Fires a shot blocked by Goncalves. And that one will give it away by Yanni Gourde. He'll have it to Goncalves. Here's for Lightning, that time Gordy. Gordy backhand save by Lyon, and he'll stop and freeze the play. 15-10 remaining in the first period. Just only the first period to wind down as we're nearing the 15 minutes to start in the first period. No score between Buffalo or the Tampa Bay. Here's a chance right around the board. And now here's Quinn, starting off for the Buffalo Sabres. This one gets carried out all the way down into Buffalo territory. As Owen Powers will now find the Jack Quinn, and this will carry it offside for Tampa Bay. The stop of under 14:30. Just a lot of great opportunity here, as a lot of fans have been showing off here for Tampa Bay against the Buffalo Sabres, as we have a lot of people here in Florida coming in to support for the Lightning here in Buffalo, New York. And we have a lot of Sabres fans looking to get back into the playoffs since they never made it all the way down since many past decades. Well, passing of the decade really may happen to be only one thing. And I know about Jack Quinn, and they ultimately, there's a lot of huge superstar players on their great offensive zone. They really is just trying to look it off. It really did so much better than the last part of the season. It wasn't turning out to be like this, but without the Florida Panthers, I bet they will believe that they're going to be coming back into the postseason and get replaced here by the Florida Panthers. That might be the great take to go for. Here the Wheels on a fast break the other way, and a close shot. That's off the stick, and Crozier now finds it off to Hagel. Hagel chance to Sorelli. And Lightning regaining the group here in as the offense, they keep moving around, finding the Radius. Sorelli, pass on back. Cage Thompson gets it over. Sabres roll back to Kesselring. Kesselring has that pass. Austin shot, save up by Johansson. And it's over to J.J. Moser to get to Sorelli. Sorelli on the big and deep. Raging shot, saved by Lyon. Gekman gets carried out, and it goes right the other way. Finley, shot stopped made by Lyon. Kesselring carries that one out, but now Buffalo will have it. Here's Ostlund. A start-off shot, and this will be a penalty shot starting off for Buffalo.
Time of penalty.
As this will be the penalty on Crozier. Check what happened with this one playing. And you know what, Darren Radius, that is a big trouble range. That is definitely not good. And now Ostlund is going to take it off. Penalty shot going on for Ostlund, and he will start for Buffalo. And he'll get a shot off. He's up. Move around. Chanson. That is out of control, and he's stopped by Johansson. Well, just what happened with that. I mean, Austin just really had a little bit of a lost control, and then this one is right off the goaltender. That doesn't start really often late, and they won't know how they're going to get it. All right, sending it over to center ice. And now check in is Boomer, and now joining us here for the start of it, it's Rasmus Dahlin. What do you have about this, Boomer? Thanks, folks. I was able to say about Rasmus Dahlin, he really has to show things off. His greatness in the taking is a usable of a magical way to do for things. Rasmus Dahlin is really making a huge improvement to do for some a lot of huge offense to take in. We really are spotting this one out. We really want to see some great effect of this for Rasmus Dahlin. And the captain for tonight only makes that anything that's out of the way. You make anything that's more crucial, you just have to play it like you did for. Buffalo Sabres had to start off with the first part of the goal, and they're looking to get that in there. And also, Chuck, he just would have had a chance to have it in. We'll see about that with Rasmus Dahlin to have that first goal starting off for the Sabres. Back to you, Peter. All right, Boomer, thank you. And now it's Rasmus Dahlin now finding to Samuelson. He has rolled over, now finding to Dolan, and Buffalo back over to Ostlund. Here's another one to Finley, and he gets the pass to Paul. Paul chance around the back of the net, and Bushton kicks over to McDonough, now has it to Crozier. A pass now long again to McDonough. McDonough looks to Paul. Paul shot, he scores! Nick Paul! That quick release is a start off for the Lightning, and they have on the board a strike in the first period. Well, that happens with only the Hyman, and there's a little bit of a ruling this offered, and this where that pass made, and then Nick Paul was able to have his own redirection, and then turning around from the back. That's the first goal to make that shooting percentage. That start off for Nick Paul, and he ranks it up, and he had dumped it in forward. That won't start off to make the big deal, and that no pressure worries, because Nick Paul had that one to release the shot, and he jumps it over. That's one of the quickest goals to have that start. So Heineman has starting to say about this ruler. Nick Paul with the first goal, and it's only 10:42 remaining past the midway mark in the first period. And now it's Thompson will start things off, and now this will be Carlisle. Sent off to Crozier. Crozier finding the Concalvis, and Memphis broken up by Samuelson. Benson shot released, saved by Johansson. He'll have that one covered up. Only 8:42 remaining. And now let's go the other way. Back to you, Boomer. And it all made me thinking of one of a bear play, Jake Gitzel. Thank you, fellas. So Jake Gitzel is really given a great range to have that good look. No offense really had to deny in this story. What Jake Gitzel really made after the transfer from the Penguins, he now is really learning to have his own unique and try to help him out with this from Nikita Kucherov. And what happens with Gitzel, he only is the American player to give that effort. We really spot that banana here for Jake Gitzel, and his part of percentage really has come along the way for the Buffalo Sabres to try to watch on. And now with the Lightning, they've got to see what they could do for. That's Jake Gitzel to have that start. I'll have to see about that if anything gets right into the way, if they get started off. Jake Gitzel might be a hard one for tonight. Back to you. And I gotta say about this is a lot of future sight. They're not really just quite easy enough to have for Buffalo team to score on his own rebound. And the other way for the Lightning, they really got a great start of it. And Alex Lyon, he's really up to it. Back to Moser, he'll have it to Gitzel. In middle, Concalvis, saved by Lyon. And now here's by Rams. 7:40 to go in the first period. Here's Benson. Pass to Tuck. Tuck shot blocked by Moser. And that one gets to Sorelli. Looks over to Kucherov. Here's Kucherov. Tuck shot saved by Lyon. And now it's Tuck the other way. Well, I can't say that Alex Lyon, he had that one denying the shot from Kucherov. That really is hard way to get through. Here's Buffalo. Now that time back the other way. And in the big ring is Tage Thompson finding power shot. That blocks it up, and Radius will have his own rebound. The give over to Kucherov. Kucherov knocked in from the defender. And here are the wheels for Byram. Dolan shoots. And back to Radius again. Now finding to Moser. Moser looks to Kirkigson. And here's a chance now to Sorelli. He'll fire that one around the net. Wallenstein knocked him over. Holmberg. Kernak shot saved up by Lyon. Byram got a piece and sent it deep over to Dolan. Here's Dolan. In middle, quiz shoot saved by Johansson. Now the Lightning will carry that out, and that's Cernak's got it covered. What a save this afterward. And Johansson really was not pretty enough to have it securely in, but that is a one wicked save to have the other. McDonough the other way, now have it to Jurgensen. The Lightning now has this McDonough. No one to believe in. Hughes to turn over it. And he denied it by Johansson. That's on Jack Quinn to have that goal. Well, he was pretty close. You could almost have that leading off with the killing. And that goal could almost be stunning. Just watch what Alex Lyon makes. This blocker was a one uniqueable save. And then when you get to the other hand, you know, that's what you were really expecting to see Jack Quinn coming in for an attack. And you really wanted to try to beat off at Johansson. It wasn't pretty left with the closest goal to have that one tied up. Johansson got a little bit of a knockoff to it, but don't take cover. That really is going to make it harder use of the effort. Puck sends to the netting out of play with only under 4:30 remaining in the first period. Now's a chance in the Sabres to the Lightning territory. Still 1-0 Tampa Bay. And now the win will be on Nick Paul. And here's Crozier to back around the net to Paul. And he has the pass to Carlisle. He'll skate it out of the zone. Now finding to Borstron. Borstron in the Lightning territory for the Buffalo. Skating across. McCloy kicks it out. And now finding to Jack Quinn. Under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Here's Jack Quinn. Pass McCloy. Shot. Saved by Johansson. 3:40 remaining in the first period. And he'll get another puck drop ready. Just 3:48 over 1:22 time on attack. Buffalo looking for a tying game to have for one. Dominic James wins the faceoff. And as Carlisle now having a swing off to James. Here's James to give to Ginsel. Ginsel. Passing broken up. And now back to Rasmus Dahlin. Now finding to Zucker. Jason Zucker with a chance in play, now finding McCloy. The shot saved by Johansson. Crozier got it back, and now it's over to Carlisle. And here's another one again, so. The Lightning in the Buffalo territory. Saves in zone, now Concalvis will have this switch off zone. McDonough. Backhand slammed up by Lyon. And he'll get that one stopping and handling with just only 2:23 remaining. I wouldn't be happy that Alex Lyon was really sticking it off, and that was a huge goal effort to try to have it denied. No stoppage to get that pursuit. Cernak now finding McDonough. Here's Finley, shot backhand, saved by Lyon. Push on to McDonough. Cernak looks to Paul. Paul looks into Cernak, now finding McDonough. A shot, he drifted away, and it goes right behind the wall. Dahlin will get it back, and now Benson is on the attack the other way for the Buffalo Sabres. Here they come as Alex took. Not given away by McDonough. And now it's over again to Borstron. Borstron to watch for trouble. And now here's McDonough. McDonough pass over to Cernak. Cernak looks to McDonough with 1 minute remaining in the first. McDonough finding Kucherov. A shot, misses wide. And it goes right over the outside of it to Cernak, and Kucherov again blocked up in front. That's finding to Kozak, and now Buffalo will have it. Well, this is why they're getting a lot of this hugest percentage, and they're really just trying to get that one way down. Another chance for McDonough, and now Cernak's broken up the play. Cernak in zone to Borstron. Borstron's deep zone, saved by Lyon. And as Dahlin will stop that action here. It is 1-0 Tampa Bay. Only Nick Paul and a lot of great battle on the board for Buffalo. They've been knocking this one out. We'll send you back to Buffalo, New York after the intermission is complete. 1-0. Be back soon after the break. Hey everyone, welcome to the first intermission of the NHL on EA Sports. Tightest competition here, but there's only the action track that makes so many hits and criticals on a shot. There's no Buffalo Sabres goal to have that one with the first start. Only one goal makes for Nick Paul, and the other one makes a one shot for TNT Tage Thompson. It wasn't quite easy enough, but they were looking for a first goal for the Buffalo Sabres to have it tied up. And here's how they did after the first period. 18/9 with the total shots on goal for Tampa Bay, as 9/8 also did the same thing, with 450 over 131, and then it's 95/85 for Buffalo Sabres on a passing effectiveness, and 7/6 face-off wins for Tampa Bay Lightning. And we'll see Starfruit joining us here for the second period after the intermission is complete. That might be one take, but it looks like Buffalo Sabres may have to show things off with the first goal. Let's see what your status are for you, Son of Beast, of Buffalo Sabres are not starting up with the goal right away. Well, they don't really start with the first goal. They get a little bit caught and knacked. This is where it gets to a hurt. You know, that really makes it, indeed, with the saving on this play, they don't get enough huge opportunity credits to have this part of the goal. This really makes them hurt, and they're not really starting to show off that appropriately. The impossible range is that score doesn't really get off to effect. That really needs to get Buffalo Sabres to have that with the first goal. It's the alternative night, and you know, they've been beating the Buffalo Sabres as they beat the Lightning. They've already won 2 games, one on the road and one home. They really have just got to try to show things with another answer to the response. They need to show things to have that credit for the Buffalo Sabres to have that with the first goal. Now let's go over to you, though, Roy, about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, Tampa Bay Lightning had only just Nick Paul, and there was no penalty to give over for the Lightning, and then only the penalty happens with Varian Radius to have the penalty shot. Looks like that didn't start off like that. And that big save was Johansson. He almost had the first goal to have that one necking it in. I mean, I can't tell you about this. They just definitely cannot slow this down to have that huge hypocritic rule. That really companion with the Buffalo Sabres to have that one knocking it out. And with that being said, with the first intermission is over, we send you back to Buffalo, New York, as we head over to the second period. And joining us now is Starfruit joining us here for second and third period. We'll see you all later for the second intermission after second period to the end. Now the Buffalo Sabres hockey continues against the Lightning of the NHL Game of the Night. Welcome back, folks, as we are here in Buffalo and Sabrestown, New York, ready to start our appearance for the second period. And we are back here on ice as we're ready to refuel our hydration and back for more hockey here at NHL's Game of the Night on EA Sports. All right, I will send it over to Boomer. That time, what he would say about the first period. Do you have any concerns about it? Well, to start off, there have to be only one goal made for Nick Paul. That really is the hardest one that everyone has been looking through. And with this first penalty, that only happens to be Darian Radius that only made that one caughting and tripping on Josh Stone. That makes him really on a special occasion, and he just didn't want to really start showing it up. That really makes him hurt. And I'm not going to tell you this one here, Peter. We really give a lot of big credits here. This is definitely going to make that hard to seem to make it impossible. That makes a string with a lot of hardness on the boundary. You're going to need to start watching this one clearly. Otherwise, you're going to definitely be knocked over and then get left behind. That's definitely what they need to do for it, to have that better effort. All right, thanks there, Boomer. And now just sending off to the third commentary to crew. I give a warm welcome off. Here's Starfruit joining us here for tonight. Let's have your status about what will happen for second period. It's so good to come into the game. Let's have your status here at the start of it for the second period. Who do you think will have the start? Thanks, folks. I just really am super excited to see this. And a lot of fans actually have never been so excited before. And without anyone contributing for the Atlantic Division clash, this was so epidemical that they start off with the first period that's strong for the Lightning and the Sabres. They just cannot believe that they would be seeing that Nick Paul had to get the first goal. And now I'm really super and not just to see this first play action with the come up with the first goal. I think this will be a start out to get it right away. And what do you think is going to be the first goal of it? At the start of the second period, I think that the Buffalo Sabres might have to tie that one up. I think we're going to see that one with a tying range of the goal for Sabres and Lightning. Oh, that's a good idea. I definitely would like to say the Lightning and the Sabres are definitely one of the hardest take that no one has ever been seeing us long the way down. They're going to have to keep on moving it down further. And indeed, so I got a really good feeling afterward there. They might have a tying game afterward. You do. Let's find out. Eric Cernak finally Tim McDonough. McDonough that time now finding the closure and the Lightning back in controlling offense in the Buffalo territory. On Jurgensen again to Crozier. Crozier shot saved up and a glove pick by Lyon. And back to Darlene. What a nice glove save. That happens only one take for Alex Lyon. And he just makes it with a great deferring chance effort. And he really had the first goal to start it off. Here's Crozier. Big knockdown here for the Sabres. And it goes over the other way for the Lightning. Well, that did not plan to work out anyway. I mean, that almost been like nicked it off. That can be a little bit harsh. Out along the boards. That time it will be Buffalo Sabres. This time this gets it over the other way. And a big rig. And he went down. Big hit here for Buffalo. And it goes right back into the Sabres territory. Rasmus Dahlin to Samuelson. And he had that pass again to Melenstein. He tips it, and it goes right into the bleachers, and it goes out of play. Stop that in with only 13:22 remaining in the second period. With a little bit of a between the camera, I will now have it over to you, Boomer, who had this start off with the big clash up with some big hits. Well, big hits made it happen, and the Buffalo Sabres have been really knacking it up. This piece makes it look easier, and they're not starting up to give that one a huge effort. This part of the goal really may have to take it out. And what I don't really think that would start this might be what Buffalo Sabres could do for them. They really have to start it clear to have that better effort. They really need to start shaking around a little bit and then get back in with the goal. They just need a lot of attention than this. But Buffalo Sabres are just knocking it out. They're doing really well. They got to try to keep it up to a hinge. Big hit almost went into the Lightning bleachers. And as Hagel, Cirelli will have it cleared out. And now the Buffalo Sabres will have it back by Rand, the deep end zone. And back to McDonough. Here's Finley. Quick in zone, no offside. McDonough shoots for the wrister, and it's stopped again by Lyon. 11:21 to go in the second period. And they'll be ready to have the next regrouping puck drop. And joining us here for the biggest concern of the mascot, you all believe, is Sabretooth. That'll be the next one after the play whistle stopped, and then we'll see a little bit of the clip action for you here in Buffalo for tonight. Now this time it'll be McDonough defending Cernak, and now McDonough shoots deep, saved by Lyon, and Owen Powers will now have it to Byram. Wow, what a save by Byram. He really would not be happy enough if he would have a quick time effort. Johannes Johansson will stop this with only 10:41 remaining in the second period. That's one of the hugest on-goal takes, and Byram have it. With Sabretooth, he only has done is and try to take the ride in the vehicle for the Monster Jam, and one of his best performances to have it keep was right along the way. To have it go for a test run and quick release. Like I said here before the start for that one caught you right in the way after it, don't it? I definitely would have to say that this would definitely make the mainest of it, and that Sabretooth was the biggest concerning. Everybody's really looking at it so far. I mean, I've never felt anything. The Sabretooth that really would have to be like climbing a vehicle, and definitely he would be jump scared to death. Not what I mentioned it before. That might be a defer. Here McLeod on a shot, saved by Johansson. On a shot never saved by the goaltender. Oh, Buffalo Sabres got a good shift going on. They would have had this first goal to have it tied. Oh, what a nice save. No stopping effort here for Johannes Johansson. He really would have that one to kick off with the never goal. And this will be tied up if they get it. Jurgensen shoots. Locker safe up by Lyon. And now Melenstein. With 8:30 to go in the second period. Past the midway mark. Jack Quinn. In middle, back to Crozier again. Now he's it over to James. Lightning clears that out. And now this will be Samuelson for Buffalo, and again to Oslin. So Sabres rolls up, and a big hit here right in the blue line. And back to Radius again to Moser. Radius with the spin. Spins it out. In deep zone again to Jurgensen. Gergensen trying to give out an extra care. Now find Holmberg. Holmberg shot saved up by Lyon. He gets it out of here for Gergensen. And now here's Ostlund. And they'll have that pickoff play by Krebs. He'll now find Samuelson. Stick lifted. That kicks it out. And here's Ostlund. Ostlund right in wing. Cut motion backhand. Saved up by Johansson. And a rebound by Moser. Gergensen clears that zone. Kucherov will clear that range out. And now Cirelli. Cirelli off of Samuelson. Here's McDonough. Add that to Cernak. Cernak shot saved up by Lyon. Only 6:07 to go in the second period. This really was a cruiseness. The fighting competition doesn't really stand out to us. You know, Peter, I really would say Buffalo Sabres really kept it along with the Hens, and they are just hitting so much. That's really like what they cause it for, and they've never felt like it is. They definitely are just giving some little smackdowns here. Sabre on the Sabretooth definitely would have a cool war clash between the Bug and the Mammoth. McDonough, a shot, he scores! Oh, what a deflection by Anthony Cirelli, and now they got a 2-0 lead by McDonough. Well, I definitely have to say that Anthony Cirelli had a little bit of deflection, and that goal made it look clean. Just look what happened with this play. And you know the effort happened with that? Ryan McDonough had a little bit of a securing deal, and as Cirelli, he comes right after him, and he definitely wants to give some a little bit of recruiter help here, and that goal had this deflection. I was really never seeing it how this goes right past by the blocker. That really would have to take a swing. So the Sabres have already trailed by 2 and Tampa up by 2. And they're still trying to look for the goal with 5:30 to go in the second period. And Benson. Benson pass, touch shot, saved by Johansson. 5:13 remaining the second period. They'll get another puck drop ready in the Tampa Bay territory. 11/10. Face-off wins between for the Tampa Bay and Buffalo. And as Cirelli wins the draw, they'll have the pass to Cernak. Cernak pass to Kucherov. Kucherov sidesteps it down. This one will reach it out of the zone, and Kucherov will get it. Now right around in front of the net as Kucherov will have it out. Kucherov up to Cernak and passes Cirelli. Cirelli change. The next one cuts up out of the blue line. And he'll have it dumped back in the zone. But those Sabres now has it to quick by Ram.
At the time of the second period, it was 2 minutes 24 seconds.
For the Sabres. On deep shot, big save by Johansson. And he'll try to kick it off, and Carlisle will give it back to Nick Paul. Here's Nick Paul. A swing off now, finding the closure. He gets away with this. Fine a shoot, save by Johansson. Full pressure coming, and shot, and shot by Johansson. 3:15 remaining. A big quick draw attack. And trying to be like a hard pickoff play. Yeah, he almost had to make that one with the quick goal. He almost got it. Now, don't say about now. I mean, you're never going to get this in Quentin Byfield and by Ram with a better range. Sabres back in defense. James has to clear it out to Concalves and to Gensel. Gensel, shot saved by Lyon. Now here's for Buffalo. Sabres back to the Lightning, and the Sabres will have it out. Buffalo back in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay on a range effort, and another one's off the glove by Johansson. He gives it to James. James going for it, and that one gets stick caught up by Ram with 2 minutes to remain in the second period. Quinn shot, blocked up by Moser. And he has it off to Concalves as the Lightning continue to strength on the push. Insel knocked him down. Here's McLeod. Moser. Oh, he taped it. Hansen shot. Saved by Johansson. And he kicks it out. And back is Rasmus Dahlin with a minute remaining. Another save by Johansson. He just cannot stay out of this play. I mean, that is almost definitely going to make him hurt, but that they don't really gain and would be the beat. Rasmus Dahlin now finding the Krebs. Here's Krebs. High man rush. Stop by Johansson. under 30 seconds in the second period as we're nearing the end of the midway period. That really was unbeatable. The poundness and powerful, and now definitely what Johansson would do for it. He just really cannot get a stoppage. He definitely would have it back. Here's Samuelson, shoots. He rained the pipe out of here. Back to Oxlade. Outside Danielson, shot. He scores! Josh Stone! What a rip, and now it's a deflection and on the board. Well, that is what they were going to give off. And Josh Stone, and this is deflection. Watch what this plays. That gives it off with a great deflection, and that goes the other way. That place is on the board. He ricochets up a Samuelson, and now he had that with a great look at the goal. I meant to say that Josh Stone, he was being caught and squeezed, but then he gets caught in the lightning defenders. He finds an answer. They now have that on board. It's 2-1. What a nice deflection. That really is a great one to start off here in the end of the second period, and now Samuelson is going to take some break, and we'll get ready for the third period. Therefore now Samuelson has brought the assist, and it's now a 2-1 game in Buffalo. Third period is underway next when we come back after the break. Hey folks, welcome to the second intermission of the NHL Game of the Night on EA Sports. Biggest of the battle as Buffalo Sabres trail by 1 as they have the late goal in the second period. It was Samuelson and has deflected by Josh Stone to have that answer back. They give it away that far and they don't think they would have the choice to do for. They definitely just keep on moving that out and they just found an answer to get on the board. Now the Buffalo Sabres are going to have to do is they need to make sure they get the force in or they're going to be shut down by the Lightning. And here's how you do it with the second period after that. 32/26 shots on goal for Buffalo. There was 26/16 for Buffalo Sabres on a hit. 829/306 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then only makes with 13/12 face-off wins for Buffalo Sabres. Still no penalty at their point, and they just trying to look for it is the tied range to have that goal. There might be one or there might be double. Let's have your thoughts about it in there, Son of Beast, for Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo Sabres really have to give that a nice technique effort, and as Buffalo Sabres have the lateness of the goal period, that doesn't really stop here. It keeps going when you really are up to something. You really have to give all that credit for what the goaltenders really had to respond. And without Luukkonen, you'll have to just try to watch and see what Alex Lyon makes. That is definitely what some recruiters make in here from the transfer from the Detroit Red Wings, and he might have it all when he can get there. That is only one shot. Tampa Bay Lightning are just really trying to beat them out. But Buffalo Sabres, they're going to see what they can get to do. Let's go over to you, Roy, for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, Lightning just really had a great chance afterwards. We don't seem like playing perfectionary has only make with the tip and chance on the goal, and only that happened with that. That's for Buffalo Sabres are really trying to have that one knocking off at the Lightning. Lightnings are trying to get away with this. They just still have a lead. It's 2-1. I mean, no change what they ever do for. They're going to need to start getting some key motions in there and get a close game. With now that being said, second intermission has come to the end as we will see how the third period goes if the Sabres have an answer back. You'll never know how that will be. Now back to Peter. On to you. See you later after the game. Welcome back, folks, as we are ready to prepare for the third period. It's close game in Buffalo, New York. And we're ready. It's time to get excited and get loud because the third period starts now. All right, Stark Crew, this has been watching over this point. What do you think how bad Josh Stone did? He's been accepted. I always love his improvement. He's really giving some greatness to the status, and he's never stepping it down. I gotta say, what happens with Josh Stone, you have to give him good credit for tonight. And now we'll be checking it off for Lyon as he stops the puck. 19:08 on the start of the third period. And here's Anthony Cirelli's big highlight. You know, one of the big highlights I've ever seen it before. Cirelli had the hugest effort to grab that great snapping goal releasements. There was no effort to have that one given away. And only one time absolutely did was was giving some tip-offs. And as you see, after what happened with Cernak, watch what McDonough makes, and then this one goes for Cirelli. He had that one tipping an infinite net, and that one stays underneath the score behind Brendan Hagel. Anthony Cirelli trying to get that comfortable leading effort here, and he's still looking for another face-off win attempt. Now Cirelli wins the draw. The face-off now finding to Radius to give to Moser, and that's broken up the play, and outside the zone is Radius. Here's Hagel, and now here's the Buffalo Sabres now finding to Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck did. Outside zone, Deline shoots! Good save made by Johansson! They have a good chance to tie it, but he's been denied again by Johansson. Oh, what a close rate. Man, Rasmus Deline has a little fire issue. He just could not get that fire range to get a goal. And just like happening with the last one here for Alex Lyon, he had the hugest save of the night. He won't have to struggle it out because that makes it harder to see for the playing offense and looking for a puck. That really makes it a great of the save. Guy has been never so doubtful. And believe me, they definitely did really well. Alex Lyon with a big save. Now let's go back down to the center ice for Boomer. What do you think the second period happened with? Boomer, what's the standout for you? Well, big update afterward. I really would been trying to work for it out. And what happened with this play, the only one that does definitely get revenge done was Rasmus Dahlin. And now for Owen Powers, he's just trying to get all huge smackdown. They're not really seem to be carrying it for us. For Nikita Kucherov, he really would have to start making some a little bit of a change-off range. This is not what they really did for us, guys. But they really have started to give it a close-range goal. Now the Buffalo Sabres are going to have to try to get that tie-and goal effort to try to keep it up. That's only one way to get a problem with that. Concalvis the other way now has it over again to James. James lost that one. It's now Jack Quinn finding to McCoy. McCoy right toward wing. The fire round shot. And another save by Johansson. He scores! Ryan McCoy! Sabres are tied. 3-20 unassisted. Well, that really makes it what Ryan McCoy did. Now this is the time range here. And now going to give that effort a look. Now what happens with Ryan McCoy, and watch when this happens. This rebound play action only makes it a change-off, and McCoy really did this. Only had the Ricketa and the play effort, you just have it in the net. Now it's just a fine range of the goal. Without off the goalpost, now it stayed out. Watch Ryan McCoy. He goes right after the target, and he's comfortable enough. He's just take a shot and then go for it. Now that really makes it settle. Easy note from Ryan McCoy. He just got it. It's a nice time effort. He just really kept on from looking back after it. They're rolling again now. Peter, rolling. Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, they're always rolling enough, and they really are starting to look for the leadoff for the first time in the third period. Here's Johnny Gore that time, now finding to Carlisle. And here Gergensen pass off to Holmberg. The backhander shot's blocked. Josh Doan finding again to Helenius. It's Helenius. Transfer from the Los Angeles Kings this time to Crozier. And Johansson will give it over to Holmberg the other way. And now as a Sabres back on defense. Helenius takes off. There will be a delay penalty coming up on the Lightning. And Pontus Holmberg, he got whacked and got called red-handed.
Penalty for tripping.
I don't know if he called red-handed afterward, but he got caught by his stick. And that is definitely, he's weighing too lately, and he's not really moving anywhere. Now this will be the power play to start off for the Sabres to get a lead. Sabres will start their power play advantage, and this one is presented by Mercury Insurance. This really needs to give them a lot of effortness, and now for the Buffalo Sabres, they got to start working it off. This needs some great range to have that high mark inbound, and they really have to show it how they can definitely do so. Power plays on the Buffalo Sabres presented by Highmark. And now this one will be Brendan Hagel. Another chance over to Cernak, now finding to Moser. Moser offered to Cernak, and 19 range, he reaches the post. Oh, great effort here, and them fans have been shocking on this one. And Alex Lyon will have that one carried out, and that's Arslan now finding to Rasmus Dahlin. And here comes Jason Zucker. Buffalo Sabres with 1 minute on the power play advantage. Dahlin swings and misses. Moser will clear that zone out in the Buffalo territory. H. Thompson. Buffalo skating out into their own territory, back in Tampa Bay territory. Doan, Zucker. Zucker chance, middle! Stopped by Johansson! Oh, what a great effort here, and that will be a great leadoff to have a power play goal. He would almost been making it look like it's a near miss, and just looked like it was nothing like that. That Johansson really had that one to stop that effort, and that pass, what a great connection here, but Johansson, he got it denied. Wow, I don't believe how Johansson did this. Well, speaking of that one here, Johansson's really giving a great save afterward there, Peter. You know, it definitely doesn't maintain it, it doesn't make a stand for the henchman to do the deal. And definitely with the, so I mean, they've got to start watching this one with some huge penalty kills. And now for the Lightning, they got to try to keep it out. Here's McLeod, now the other way for the Buffalo territory. Time's running out. McLeod, in zone, shot blocked. Now, and as now, this will be Pontus Holmberg out of the penalty box, over the net. Another save with a great chance by Johansson. He would not be feeling like that tonight. I mean, I don't really think that would be all for anything. Holmberg, saved by Lyon. 13:04 to go in the third period. A little bit of a quick off draw puck. And now they're in the Buffalo territory to have another puck drop ready. James wins the face-off. Here's Cernak now having to Concalves. Pass to Cernak now finding McDonough. Here's Concalves to find James. James in the middle. That's broken up by Power, and they give again to Jack Quinn. Tampa Bay the other way with another intercepted pass by Buffalo. And this one will carry in zone. Crozier out and bound, and James will dump that into Buffalo territory. There's Jack Quinn, the pass to McLeod. And McLeod moving around. Set the pass to Zucker, shot, and deflected back to James. And here's Concalves. A pass broken away, and now here's by Ram. McDonough, the pass to Cirelli. Cirelli, knocked out with the kick. Never clashed down by Buffalo. And here comes Thompson. Thompson, saved by Johansson. That rebound is getting knocked up to 9 by Kucherov. And go back to Crozier. Oh my. That was unbelievable. This would never feel like that the Sabres would have a great time afterward. Radish to Cirelli. Early shot save up by Lyon. Rasmus Dahlin coming to attack. Now finding to Tuck. And here's a chance to Krebs again to Tuck. Tuck chance to Byram. Byram piece in front. Broken by Kucherov. And you'll have a pass to Moser. Moser chance. Right to Hagel. Saved by Lyon. And back to Rasmus Dahlin to pass to midway mark in the third. He doesn't have the right way to do this, but that is another great henchman to do the deal for Alex Lyon. He would have to do it all when he can. Tampa Bay in the zone, and now this one to Yanni Gourde. Pass is blocked, and back to Yanni Gourde. Moser shoots it, another save up by Lyon, and Hagel will kick it around the net. Off the wall, here's another change, and Moser will have to try to regroup the puck in. And back to Radish. Here's Radish from the zone that escapes. And Carlisle will have it to Radish and Holmberg. And Gourde will dish the zone out in the Buffalo territory. And here comes Alex Tuck, and now Buffalo will skate out into Tampa Bay's area. By Ram, nowhere to find. Holmberg now finding Yanni Gourde. Yanni Gourde into the motion attack. Gets away from it on a shot save by Lyon. 7:43 remaining, and now here's Helenius. That shot and pass has been broken up. Now finding to Concalves. Concalves. And middle of the Kinsall, save up by Lyon. A huge response afterward for Alex Lyon to kick it out. That was really amazing save. This doesn't really make anyone that's a beautiful. He really would have a great way to have it all. I gotta say, it has happened. And he scores! Tage Thompson! TNT strikes in the first for the first time in the third period. Well, that happened only with one rebound, and now the other one only did. And what happened with Carlisle and given badly and Baxter Thompson, he scores that one with the goal. They don't tell that, but Thompson makes that clear to have that a shot speed. That's 104 miles per hour and beat by Johansson. Well, what a nice save, Rick Rocket. The happens with TNT, you've got to believe it. Sabres are up in front now. It is a 3-2 game for the first time since Tage Thompson with the goal in the third period. Thomas shot, and he scores the other way. The party's not over. It is now a 3-3 game. Oh man, just one more look afterward. I mean, watch what happened with that last play. You see that Borstrand? He was not going to stop. And this was right into the net. I don't see how he's doing this, but that is no contest. That shooting percentage was like really tricky to get through it. And that pass by Lyon, he did not seem to care for it afterwards. They really turned it over the other way. And that was one of the hugest and trickiest shot. That goes right toward it in the net. The Buffalo Sabres and Tampa Bay are now stuck in 3. Goncalves with unassisted by team. He just races and feel like if he wants to have it tied up again. I don't think that this is not going to end the party that way. Got to start thinking of it one carefully and soon. Gensel now finding McDonough. Now has it over to Gensel. Ernak backhander off the glove again on the blocker by Lyon. And here's another one to Samuelson. Swings and misses to Samuelson. Pass off, Helenia Shaw, glove save by Johansson. 5:37 remaining in the third period. They'll get ready for our next puck drop. Now that will send back to the center ice to Boomer of how that goal's turned to be only one to have it tied. Well, I'm going to say this one here. The last time we had it across with Tage Thompson, he really had a little bit of a smart rule here after a turnover here by Tampa Bay Lightning. That really made it a big hurt. And now this will have to turn the other way. And as one of those Sabres are trying to keep watching it out. This is not the best way to do for when you're playing for a defense. But this offense made that one turn over as Borstrand. He now has them with the lead. And this one was Goncalves. He was trying to get that tied up at the goal. And now it's his threes. This is going to be a close range matchup because under 5 minutes is going to be enough timing to get through it. Now the Buffalo Sabres will have to do this is try to keep it out. That needs to be enough chance and emotion. Let's see what answers next. Thank you, Boomer. And it's Johansson with another save with only 4:09 remaining. We've passed the 5-minute mark in the third period presented by Discover. Here's another change up. 42 over 37 shots on goal for Tampa Bay. Underneath by Buffalo. Sorelli wins the face-off, and there's Moser. Tampa Bay looking over to Brandon Hagel. And it will appear to go offside. That will be on under 4 minutes in the third period. Just 42 or 37 shots in the game. And now the puck drop is set. Sorelli wins the face-off, and it's McDonough now finds Sorelli. He'll bank around the pass to Kucherov. Kucherov, pass off to Brandon Hagel, and back to Kucherov. Shots blocked in front, and rebound by McDonough. McDonough finds Cernak. Here's another one to Hagel, and that one will race out of here. And he'll have that dump back in the zone. Buffalo will have it. Samuelson looks off to Thompson. Foul along the boards. And Tage Thompson will get it out of here to Alex Tuck. With a little bit of a slick feed here. Now find Benson's shot. Big save by Johansson. 2:32 remaining, the third period. They'll get ready for another puck drop in the Tampa Bay territory. Dominic James wins the draw, and now it's passed to Moser, and the dips off zone to Gensel. Tampa Bay looking over it now as Gage Goncalves behind the net. He looks to Dominic James. A shot, he scores! Oh, what a big deflected again! And now Gage Goncalves, he has 2 goals. Look, watch what happened with that. And you know what happens with the Gage Goncalves? He goes struck in middle, and then he just went right toward it, and that goes underneath the blade. And just watch what happens. That Goncalves had that look, and what happened with Lyon, that really might have staggered it out. He just did not believe it. That was going to be enough. Just can't believe Gage Goncalves had that lead. It is now a 4-3 lead. Tampa Bay, as Buffalo, need to start making some workness on his own zone. Makes a knockdown. Here's another one to Moser. And here's a pass up to Goncalves. Then to Benson. It's back to Thompson. Here's the Samuelson shot. He scores! Zach Benson! It's back to tie game 4. It's not done. Zach Benson has that deflect. And now this plays even again. While the Hyman ruler knows what Zach Benson did this. And watch with this rack-off play. He zips it and Samuelson has 2 assists of the night. He won't believe this. Because Zach Benson really had gotten deflected. Johansson was really watching it. And that doesn't get by him. That really makes another goal, and now it's a tie game. Oh, this is the party one for us. This would never be so delightful. Then come on, folks, give me a yeah, if you want. Yes, we definitely will like to see that one out there with your Starfruit. I think this matchup in OT is going to be it. I definitely can't wait for that. It's going to be exciting. Shirley now finding a pass. Just down to a minute in the third period. Here's Kucherov. Shot close. Saved by Lyon. Under a minute remaining in the third period. Montreal are even. All right, let's have a look at the player of the night. I'll turn my attention over to Boomer. Well, the chances happen that the Tage Thompson, he really only has his own takeaway advantage. This was a great effort to have it back. Now what happens with Buffalo, they're starting to get some of a huge attackness, and they're now going to start taking the lead. This is why they really are starting to make this one clear. But the only time save this time only makes 1 goal for National. TNT Thompson might have to win this one all. I think the overtime might be next. We'll see what happens at that. Back to you guys. Kucherov fires and gloves saved by Lyon. Last chance here for Buffalo Sabres. This will get cleared out. And now it's Hagel. Hagel chance to Kucherov. And he'll have it back to Hagel. And he will be starting to get that piece. McCloy, middle, it's broken it up. And James will hold this here, and we are going to overtime in Buffalo. It is 4-4. Clash continues after regulation, and we'll be back for OT. Thank you, Starfruit, for joining us here, and we'll hope to see you again here soon. Thank you, fellas. Go Buffalo! All right, that's what we are looking for. Buffalo's hockey, 4-4. OT's next after the break. All right, what a fantastic finish and a comeback for the Buffalo Sabres. But before we get into OT, in case you missed it, here are the statistics for each periods. And now for a little bit of the status of OT. This is definitely going to be the hardest place to do for things that wasn't being tormented for the Buffalo Sabres to try to make the smacking hit on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Lightning definitely tempering it on the Buffalo Sabres. Let's have your status of who you think will be the chance to win in OT, Roy. Well, I'm going to say Buffalo Sabres are going to have to win this all because that gives us a lot of huge opportunity range. That might be a little bit of a hard and given a clear look. I don't know what is going to happen with this, but this might be the overtime winner for the Buffalo Sabres. They're definitely going to start winning it all if they can. And how about you, Son of Beast? What is your percentage on that? I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning might be Nikita Kucherov. I'm not even sure if that will be him for tonight, or Brandon Hagel, or any other players from the Tampa Bay Lightning that might score an OT. So that's my 50% chance for the OT winner. So I think this might be a great matchup. So with that, I guess that this clash is going to come down to this. In OT, we might see what's going to happen if Buffalo Sabres could win or Tampa Bay Lightning could win. This could be all what they change for. And now going back to Buffalo, Peter Levesque ready to get on for OT. And this game is presented by your local Honda dealers. There's a lot of great advantage here to show what gets on. And now let's prepare for this ultimate matchup. Overtime starts now. It's Buffalo Sabres and the Lightning as they're all tied and we are ready to set for overtime. Here we go. And as we're set, it's where the next goal makes a win. Stopping on the play action will be Johansson. He'll start things off. We're nearing the start of the OT and trying to get a first goal tonight to win it all. And now as we're ready to see what gets into it, Boomer, do you think who had a winning percentage or who's going to win? I'm going to say Buffalo Sabres might win this all. That might be a great change up for that. And now what I need to do now is to make a Boomer change up. They got to start doing a little bit of extra feed. Just a little bit of a contact range might be taking it all for good. This need to be a great runs race in to keep it from coming. I'm going to say the Buffalo Sabres are really starting to do a lot of defense, so they got to start moving around. We'll see what it takes here. Peter, back to you. All right, thanks, Boomer. Now finding the radius. Kucherov right toward Wang. He cannot hold on, and as Thompson will have that one out. 3:43 left to remain in OT. Kucherov the other way now. And here's the Lightning. Here's Kucherov sending off. Slips around the feed, face on a shot. And we'll get a little bit of a regroup change here for Nikita Kucherov to have some line changes for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now the Kucherov will now have it to Moser. Next line group skaters comes on. And now on ice will be Marchand. And here's Hagel. Hagel in middle, given away by Tuck. And takes Thompson. Buffalo in changing position. Move around in, sadly by Johansson. What a save, and it goes right back to Worston. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. That would almost make it through. Here's Byram. Chance, save again by Johansson. Moser clears that zone. And this will be icing for Lightning. There will not be. Hagel chance, tap made by Lyon. And here's another one to McLeod. Buffalo gets back into the offense zone and battling for loose puck. Josh Stone looking for a win in OT. It's back to Radius. Final minute in OT. Here's the ball. And here to Radius on a chance. By Ram the other way. They have to pull out a full break. And by Ram to win. Glove save by Johansson. Just 46 seconds to go in OT. And he'll be ready to have another puck drop. Oh, what a nice night here. Johannes Johansson was really stopping the save. And he just did not see that this would be a winning OT for Buffalo. But it looks like Johansson, he has really been kept up a notch. He just really couldn't take it a lot. But that can be a little bit hard challenging to get right through it. Still a lot of time looking for a winning face-up to have the winning for OT for Buffalo. Here's power shots blocked. Benson shot, big save by Johansson. 40 seconds remaining in OT. Gensel's out of here. And here's a chance to Paul. And I've broken it up to Carey. And here's Benson. And he looks to Krabs the other way. Krabs for the win. Another save by Johansson. Makes it with the big hit. Powers. Over chance to Krabs. Krabs moves into Benson. Pass back, no chance here, stopped by the goaltender. And Gensel will now find a Paul. And looks like this might be it. Last chance for the Lightning. Move around. Gensel, the other way, shoots, save by Lyon. And that ends OT. Oh, what a great close chance afterwards. And this would have almost been a win for Buffalo. Well, doesn't say now, it looks like we're going to shootout. Shootout's next, and we'll be returning you soon for at the start of it for the shootout game. 4-4 is a score. Be back with you shortly. Here's a look of how they did with the OTs in the range here, and there's a lot of huge just knockoff here, and as Buffalo Sabres are trying to give some huge efforts as Tage Thompson tried to win that game, but it was denied shortly by Johannes Johansson. He just has a huge save to keep things moving. And then over the other way is by Ram, Benson and Krebs had a lot of a huge range opportunity. Well, you just don't believe that. That really makes it huge as on a chain. And then by Ram, he did this a little fancy move here, and that only does this with the backhand, and he just have it denied. There was no way that he really would try to save up at the deal. That really gets it out, and that one keeps alive. And then it just happened the same thing with the breakaway chain. He wasn't really that close afterward. That only made that one a hard chance to have some big effort for the Buffalo Sabres. They just could not see how they were doing this, but that really only makes that shot to try to have that one stopping out. And only just Zach Benson that only does this was just like that. And that's passing affected this, and you really are going to try to give that one with the first goal, and would have a huge win for Zach Benson. That would have been a great change. And as for Krebs, that only does for once, just with the breakaway, and then this one was a huge blocking of the deny on the stick for Johannes Johansson. That is just really how domination can determine to be. And it just only did the same thing, just a little bit of a pass angle. That can be really a toughness to get over it. Alright, we'll just way on here. When we return to Buffalo, this will be the shootout to start things for Tampa Bay and for the Sabres, as we're about to be seeing things to get on the self-tracking board. And let's see how they can handle it to get right in the zone. This is a shootout you've been waiting for, as we start with Johansson and Lyon. Starting off will be Jake Gensel. He'll start things off, and he's ready to go. Gensel waits patiently down with the chance in. Saved by Lyon! What an effort here! And that was not really what you always expect. The first save of Lyon, that's where it goes. Brian McCloy's up first for Buffalo. That one's stopped by Johansson, and he'll get that one with a stop. Now as for Nick Paul, he'll have that one starting it off, and we'll see how they can definitely do for it. And only after this save, he's going to need to see something about that. Paul, shot by Lyon. Nick Paul with no answer luck. And now the upper wing will be Tage Thompson. Here comes the TNT. End zone. He scores! Tage Thompson grabbed it from the goal, and now they got up by one. Well, do you see what I mentioned before? Tage Thompson only did with one goal, and he did for Robert. That's wraparound and just the right timing effort. He just beats by Johansson quickly. And the Lightning will start off, and it's down to Nikita Kucherov. He will start batting things in zone. He's up and ready. Watching it. In zone. Reach. Saved by Lyon. And it's all over. Sabres winning the shootout. Lyon, the finish. Well, that one I mentioned before about Lyon, he just had it all. And you don't believe that. Sabres have done it all. Big win. Stops one. Sabre fans, goes wild. They're now the best in Atlantic. When you don't mean the division now, and you really just got to give a one extra love for Sabre 2. We salute the fans, and what a celebration night here in Buffalo, New York. Well, finally the score wasn't determined, but it was all it took. Buffalo wins in shootouts, 5-4. And with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this part of a Buffalo Sabres hockey, and we'll see you all next time. Along with Pierre Levesque and Ruler and a special crew of Starford and Boomer, this has been concluded. Buffalo Sabres hockey. Time to get in the post-game show. Good night. All right, thanks, Peter. Time for 3-star players. Zach Benson with the goal and 5 hits only makes with the hugest tremendable on this deflection to have that goal. The 2nd-star player of the game goes to Gage Concalves with only 2 goals and 1 hit. It only does so to keep things from out of trouble to do from inside. And tonight's 1st-star player of the game goes to the finish of the Buffalo Alex Lyon from Tage Thompson. TNT delivers a win to have a credit and show how it's done. That's big, yeah. And his total statistics, 52 over 42 shots on goal for Buffalo. And it was 46 over 21 hits for Buffalo. And it was 14 over 2 and 450 for Tampa Bay Lightning on a time on attack. 90 over 83 passing effectiveness for Buffalo Sabres. Only 23 over 21 face-off wins for Tampa Bay. And no power play goals for the Tampa Bay or Buffalo Sabres. That only stays out once, and only the shootout goal only does that. We haven't seen a shootout in a long while at that point. But now, that's where you will win to have a deal. So Buffalo Sabres are the ones to clash the victory over the Lightning. And we'll see them back soon for a couple game of the nights before the postseason. With the next game, we'll see the Nashville Predators, and they'll face against the Avalanche back in Mile High. Well, enough of being determined. This has been a great night for the Sabres. And with that, you don't beat when you get the Sabre to wreck him down. That's been a Sabre to beat Born Buffalo. Along with my broadcast partner, along with the crew of Peter Levesque, Roy Cruz, I'm Son of Beast. You've been watching the game of the night of the NHL on EA Sports Style. And thanks you for watching, for as well as the NHL 26 gameplay dial. So long, everyone.
If you don't, somebody will.